Billionaires like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jeff Bezos are constantly in the news for their business achievements and personal controversies. Their lives are well documented and they're household names around the globe. But most of the world's richest people prefer to live in the shadows, quietly cashing in while their businesses expand surreptitiously. From luxury brands to tech juggernauts, today we're exploring 10 of the richest people you've never heard of. You may not have heard of Bernard Arnault, but you've certainly seen his products sported by celebrities and ultra-wealthy clientele all over the world. The luxury group he oversees, LVMH, is the parent company of brands like Louis Vuitton, Moet & Chandon, and Hennessy Cognac. Arnault controls about half of LVMH, which had revenue of 42.6 billion euros in 2017, making him the richest man in France. In addition to LVMH, Arnault oversees further investment in holding vehicles. Group Arnault has invested in Netflix and Blue Capital, and also took a major stake in French food chain Carrefour. In addition, he has invested in Boo.com and a variety of other online ventures, as well as buying Princess yachts outright. Arnault began his career working for his father's manufacturing company. 5 years into working for the company, Arnault convinced his father to liquidate the construction division and enter the real estate market. Under the name Farnell, the new company initially developed specialty holiday accommodations. Named a director of the company in 1974, he became chief executive in 1977. In 1979, he succeeded his father as president of the company. In 1984, Arnault acquired Financier Agache, becoming chief executive and taking control of Bosac, a beleaguered textile company which owned, among other assets, Christian Dior and the department store Le Bon Marché. Arnault used this foothold in the luxury business to begin building what would become the world's largest luxury conglomerate. Over the next 11 years, LVMH's value multiplied 15 times over, and sales and profit increased fivefold. Arnault's current net worth is $64.8 billion. Imagine if the grocery store, the cell phone provider, and biggest national construction conglomerate were all owned by the same company. No matter where you shop, you're still supporting the same business. That's essentially the situation in Mexico, where one of the world's richest people, Carlos Slim Helú, resides. The 78-year-old has a net worth of $59.2 billion, and from 2010 to 2013, he was the richest man in the world. He's not only the richest man in Mexico, but in all of South America. His conglomerate includes education, healthcare, industrial manufacturing, transportation, real estate, media, energy, hospitality, entertainment, high technology, retail, sports, and financial services. He accounts for 40% of the listings on the Mexican Stock Exchange, while his net worth is equivalent to about 6% of Mexico's gross domestic product. Needless to say, even though most of his business is done behind the scenes, Slim is a major player in the world economy. He was born in 1940 to a Mexican father and a Lebanese mother. From a young age, Slim was interested in both finance and engineering. He received a degree in mechanical engineering in 1961. Slim has stated that his mathematical ability and his background of linear programming was a key factor in helping him gain an edge in the business world, especially when reading financial statements. From there, he worked 14-hour days at the Mexican Stock Exchange, eventually accruing $400,000 of his own money to invest across various sectors. The rest is history. Amancio Ortega is another figure who remains in the shadows, though his products are ubiquitous. He was the founder of Inditex, which includes pret-a-porter fashion chains such as Zara, Pull&Bear, Massimo Dutti, Bershka, Stradivarius, Oysho, and Uterque. As a youth in La Coruña in northwestern Spain, Ortega gained an entry into the garment business by working as a delivery boy for a men's shirt store and as an assistant in a tailor shop, jobs that exposed him to the costs of manufacturing and delivering clothing directly to customers. He later managed a clothing store that, like the men's shirt store, catered to a wealthy clientele. Ortega saw an opportunity to expand his client base by using less expensive materials and more efficient manufacturing systems, and by competitively pricing garments. He first applied the approach to a bathrobe business, Confecciones Goa, which he founded in 1963. Ortega founded the first Zara ready-to-wear clothing store in La Coruña in 1975, and it became not only an internationally famous chain, but also the flagship of holding company Inditex, which he founded 10 years later. Notoriously private, few people know much about Ortega, but through tax records it's clear that he makes $400 million just from dividends every year. On top of his corporate profits, Ortega is worth $56.6 billion. Mukesh Ambani is the richest man in India and the 18th richest person in the world. The Yemeni-born Indian business mogul is the chairman and managing director of the Indian conglomerate Reliance Industries Limited, or RIL, the foremost company of the Indian energy and materials conglomerate Reliance Group. Ambani was one of 4 children of Dhirubhai Ambani, who first worked as a gas station attendant. Ambani earned a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from the University of Bombay and subsequently pursued a master's degree in business administration from Stanford University. However, he left the program in 1981 to join the family business, where he worked to diversify the company, venturing into a vast array of areas, including communications, infrastructure, petrochemicals, petroleum refining, polyester fibers, and gas and oil production. In 2004, he was named one of the world's most respected business leaders by the professional services firm PricewaterhouseCoopers. He's renowned not only for his wealth, but for having one of the most ostentatious houses in the world, the Antilla in South Mumbai. The house is the most expensive privately owned residence in the world with a valuation of over $2 billion. Some have been critical of the residence, as it's placed in one of the poorest parts of Mumbai. It doesn't seem to faze Ambani, however, as his net worth is just shy of $50 billion. Sergey Brin co-founded the world's most used website with Larry Page in 1998. That's right, Brin is one of the masterminds behind Google. He now serves as the president of Google's parent company, Alphabet. Born in Moscow in 1973, Brin immigrated to the United States with his family from the Soviet Union at the age of 6. He earned his bachelor's degree at the University of Maryland, College Park, following in his father's and grandfather's footsteps by studying mathematics, as well as computer science. After graduation, he enrolled in Stanford University to acquire a PhD in computer science. There, he met Page, with whom he later became friends. They crammed their dormitory room with inexpensive computers and applied Brin's data mining system to build a web search engine. They called the search engine Google, after the mathematical term Google, which is a 1 followed by 100 zeros, to reflect their mission to organize the immense amount of information available on the web. After raising $1 million from family, friends, and other investors, the pair launched the company in 1998. Headquartered in the heart of California's Silicon Valley, Google held its initial public offering in August 2004, making Brin and Page billionaires. Google has since become the world's most popular search engine, receiving an average of more than 1 trillion searches a day in 2016. Though Brin is not a household name, he is the world's 13th richest person, with $49.9 billion in assets. Ma Huateng, also known as Pony Ma, shares Chinese internet giant Tencent Holdings, which ranks among the nation's largest businesses by market cap. Ma Huateng is the richest man in China, according to the Forbes World's Billionaires list. Ma's net worth reportedly grew to $47 billion in March, up from $25 billion this time last year. The entrepreneur grew up in southern China, where his father worked as the manager of a major state-owned port. After graduating from Shenzhen University with a degree in computer science in 1993, he landed a job developing software for pagers. At the time, China had an average of just 1 computer for every 100 people. Still, Ma stayed in Shenzhen, making $176 per month at his first job. As a result, he had a front-row seat to China's tech boom in the mid-1990s. Ma started his career as a programmer with CM Mobile, a telephone pager service company, before founding Tencent. This experience was the cornerstone for his communication apps QQ and WeChat. The latter is now China's most popular messaging app, which has more than 1 billion users, with profits of 23.29 billion yuan, or $3.7 billion US. Ma is the 14th richest person in the world, with a net worth around $42 billion. Born in 1958, Hui Kaoyan today chairs Evergrande Real Estate, a Hong Kong-listed real estate development company based in Guangzhou. With his enterprise, he is active in residential, commercial, and hotel property development. Evergrande Group has more than 700 projects in more than 240 cities in China, including Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen. In 2017, Evergrande Real Estate Group will achieve sales of 450 billion yuan. Born in the Taikang County of China, Louis completed his graduation from the Wuhan University of Science and Technology, obtaining a degree in metallurgy in the year 1982. He also serves as a management professor of Wuhan since 2003. He earned an honorary PhD in 2008 from the University of West Alabama. But the truth is that most of Yan's business acumen was learned outside of the world of academia. He gained the majority of his knowledge in real-world settings. Hui Kaoyan is also one of the top philanthropists in China. In 2011, he donated $62 million and received the National Model Worker Honor by the State Department. However, $62 million is a small percentage of his overall $33 billion fortune. Karl Albrecht is the founder and owner of the popular German discount store Aldi. According to Forbes, he is one of the wealthiest men in the world, with an estimated net worth of $22.6 billion. He's the richest person in Germany and 4th wealthiest in all of Europe. Albrecht was born on February 20, 1920 in Essen, Germany. His father was a miner, and his mother owned a small grocery store in a suburb of Essen. The billionaire earned his fortune with his entrepreneurial skills and talent. His brother Theo worked alongside him, while he transformed his mother's small grocery store, which was situated in a corner, into what it is today. The first Aldi store was launched in 1961. Today there are over 4,000 Aldi outlets in Germany alone, and more than 8,000 in France, Australia, Greece, Portugal, Great Britain, Spain, Switzerland, the US, and Poland. Aldi sells all kinds of products, like skincare products, household items, and produce. The ownership of the store was split between the two brothers, with Karl getting the more lucrative outlets of southern Germany and Theo being responsible for the northern outlets and the rest of the stores in Europe. Karl was lucky to get the rights of the brand in the United Kingdom, United States, and Australia. There's not much known about Karl because he never preferred to stay in the limelight, especially because his brother Theo was kidnapped in 1971. It's said that he's married and has 2 children, neither of whom are employees of Aldi. Ranking 71st on the Forbes Global Fortune list, Leonardo Del Vecchio is the second wealthiest man in Italy. He is the president and founder of the world's leading company in the development, production, marketing, and distribution of glasses. The company is none other than Luxottica. They make their own glasses and are the world's leader in the eyeglasses industry. The self-made businessman boasts a net worth of $11 billion. Del Vecchio comes from an impoverished background. His father is said to have died 5 months before he was born. As a result, his mother gave him up to an orphanage because she was not able to support him on her own. Living in the fashion capital of Milan, Del Vecchio had the opportunity to apprentice with a tool and die maker. After 6 years of experience, he felt prepared to break into the fashion world. In 1967, Leonardo made the decision to enter the glasses assembly business. Expanding his work, Leonardo founded his own company, Luxottica. 10 years later, in 1976, Luxottica stopped making frames for other brands and launched its own eyewear brand. Using extensive research, the brand went on to become the market leader. There was no looking back. Leonardo's effective strategies helped him in developing a successful sales network. Widely considered to be the most powerful woman in investing, Abigail Johnson inherited Fidelity Investments from her grandfather, Edwin C. Johnson II. Little is known about Johnson's early life because, like the rest of her family, she likes to be discreet. In an interview with Fortune, she describes her parents as happy, well-adjusted people and stated that they inspired her to follow her passions, just like they did. In terms of her education, she earned her bachelor's degree in art history from the Hobart and William Smith Colleges back in 1984. Of course, this didn't serve her too well in the financial world, so Johnson went on to get an MBA from the Harvard Business School. Soon after graduating, she was hired into an executive position in the family business. Though Fidelity has lost business to low-cost brokers like Vanguard and Charles Schwab, it still has more than $107 billion in assets, and Johnson has a respectable $16.4 billion of her own.